take that off, then it's very difficult to turn this to select the mode. So obviously this is jammed this one in single only mode, so because of this taking the handle off. So if you want to do the single only mod onto this one actually is working at 425 FPS, then that's how you do your single only mod. Or you can take this bar off at the back here, so either way that results in single only, as long as you put it in single only mode when you do it. Right, so that's the selector off. Remember to get all your screws, put them in the piles. So a pile there for them screws. Alright, and then we can take the spring off the trigger. I'll put that there. There's really no specific order right now for these, parts. We just want to get them off. Oh, there's a little spring underneath the selector switch there. So what we'll do, we'll just take him out, keep hold of him. That was right there. Then we'll do this screw here. Make sure you can see this. So one screw from there, and another screw from there. I think if we bypass, there's no need to take the safety switches off, it will just come off in one lump. So just two screws there, top and bottom, and then your safety comes off completely. Then what we want to do is the manual safety. There's one screw here, but be careful because underneath it is inside this bit here is another spring with a little metal bit on the end, which makes the clunky click noise. So we want to undo this and then just gently lift that up, because we don't want to lose. There it is. Like I say, it's easier if you put your screws in the holes where they come out. Right, the trigger won't come off until we've taken off the other side. But right here on this side is your motor screws, okay? Oh, the torque ones in this case. My torque screwdriver. Right, those two there hold the motor on, but we won't do that one until we've got the other side off. So we don't want to put any undue tension on the trigger contact wiring. So there's 4 Phillips screws holding these ones on. This bit on here. When this comes off, it'll come off in one section, and all of the stuff underneath, it's basically, it clamps down and holds everything in place. There's 2 springs on here. Be careful with them ones, you don't want them flying, going miles. So just take 1, 2. So say this is the next section, so make your next section pile. Careful when you come up about these springs. Just want to take the tension off as you take it off. I say, if your M14 has lost its single only ability, and all you're getting is, even in single, all you're getting is full auto, and this bar here is your culprit, okay? This is the cut-off lever, okay, which cuts off the gearbox, gives you the single-only function. This one tends to wear, if I pull it out, it tends to wear there, okay. But so the best thing you can do is at £10 fire support, it's going to be a Garda version of it, which is slightly harder. It will still wear, but it will take a lot longer to break compared to the TM one. And if it hasn't happened to you, it will do. So eventually pretty much everyone loses their single only function on the M14. Then again, I suppose it depends on how much you use single. Right, then just pull everything off, remembering the order that it goes in. Yeah, it's a difficult one for me to describe the order, so if you're worried about this particular part, then I'd suggest taking a photo of each side before you start this process. Right, and then that way you can sort of go back to it, refer to it, just in case you do forget. But it's just, I say everybody's done jigsaws before, you know, so little puzzles. It's, right, then we can take the selector switch bar off, so just lift him up and pull him out. Right, there's no need to touch any of the motor contacts or anything, but now's a good time just to check and make sure that they're nice and firm on there. They shouldn't be able to pull off. If they do pull off, then just take a little pliers, just crimp them a bit tighter and make sure they're stuck on there. So same goes with any gun, I suppose. Now, what do we need? We need a torque screwdriver. How about this one? And put them in your. Remember, that was from section 2, so we'll put it back in there. And just pull your motor out. And just, there's no need to touch any of the electronic stuff that's on it, so just pull leave all the switch contacts stuck on the end of the motor there. We'll just put him aside, and that leaves us with the gearbox. The benefit, the version 7s, kind of like the soft mods as well, is that you've got access to the tappet plate spring here, okay, through the side, which means you can pop this out now with a flat bladed screwdriver. Just be careful it doesn't go flying before taking apart the rest of the gearbox. Okay, the benefit being that once it's out, there's going to be no tension on the tappet plate, or yet another thing that doesn't go flying, if you know what I mean, when you take the rest of it apart. Right. And one Phillips screw there. One Phillips, no. Torque one there, just to be awkward. These are all T10s, by the way. So that's a T10 at the front, T10 at the back with Phillips in the middle. Right. Now, similar method to your version 2s, just I like to, as I'm edging this up, oh wait, around the top of there you've got a bar which you've got to slide off. Sometimes you do it with your thumb and fingers, other times you might need to do it, push it off with like a flat bladed screwdriver or a set of pliers or something. It's similar to the version 6 P90s. I suppose the version 3, I think they've got it on there. Right, just lift up the top section, don't worry if it pings, it's just the anti-reverse latch, and hold down the spring, long thin screwdriver.